카우리 박물관은 뉴질랜드의 비밀을 가장 잘 간직하고 있는 곳으로 오클랜드에서 북쪽으로 90분 거리에 위치하고 있습니다. 이 박물관을 만들었던 멜빈 스털링, 그는 오클랜드의 교통기술박물관도 만들었던 분입니다. 그는 이 카우리 박물관을 만들어 세계적으로 명성이 알려졌습니다. 이 카우리 박물관은 세계에서 두 번째로 큰 나무 카우리를 통해 처음 뉴질랜드에 정착했던 사람들의 이야기를 들려주고 있습니다. 카우리 나무는 건축용 목재로 아름다운 색깔과 무늬를 가지고 있고 나무 진액인 카우리검은 사랑받는 보석으로 쓰이고 있습니다. 스털링 전시관은 1880년에서 1920년 사이에 가정집의 모습을 그대로 보여줍니다. 또 이 스털링 전시관은 카우리 나무가 집을 짓는데 어떻게 사용됐고 가구에 어떻게 사용되었는지를 보여주고 있습니다. 예쁜 웨딩드레스를 입은 신부의 안방 모습입니다. 카우리 나무로 벽을 장식했고 땔감으로 그리고 난방용으로도 카우리 나무를 사용했습니다. 스미스 전시관에서는 카우리의 벌목이나 운송, 그리고 제재 시 실제로 사용했던 장비들과 카우리 검을 볼 수 있습니다. 험한 길에서 1마일이나 떨어진 곳까지 통나무를 끌고 갈 장비입니다. 실제로 사용했던 제재 장비로 폭스베이에서 가져온 것입니다. 이 박물관에서는 제재 장비가 어떻게 작동하는지를 슬로우 모션으로 관객에게 보여주고 있습니다.
They're Victorian houses, they've been here well over 100 years and they're still standing strong today. This amazing tree. So that's the Balderston, which we see here. You will go to see Tāne Maruta, so you get a sense of the scale, the whole girth of the tree. Then Te Mātua Ngāhere. This is the tree that's 3,000 years old. And then further out we have Kairaru. And Kairaru is the largest tree that was officially recorded on record. There was a surveyor that was surveying a lot of the land in Northland, and this tree was officially measured to have this girth of 20 metres right around in circumference. These other two trees, the giant Kauri coast and the father of the forest, these are tales and legends. So not officially recorded, but people talk about actually visiting these large trees. If this tree is 3,000 years old, imagine how old these trees may have been. Really shows just how ancient they were and how long they've been on this landscape. Because of course the Kauri tree has been here for over 100 million years. So way back in the time of the giants and the dinosaurs that certainly roved this landscape. An advance of 45,000 years old in this particular case here. So that this amazing, it's like petrified wood, it gets fossilised over time, it's buried under the earth, and then years later as the farmers are draining their pasture and their soil, these giants were discovered, and they were part of big forests. At one point there was a big climatic event. So if we look right back to the centre of the tree, you can see the very middle point is where the tree started out as a seedling, which was 1100 years ago. And each year of this tree's life it added a growth ring. So if we actually counted all these individual growth rings, all the way out to the very edge, there's 1100 rings in there. You can see that some of them are quite close together, and some are slightly further apart. And what that means is when the rings are quite close together, the growth conditions were probably not as positive for the tree. But when they're further apart, it had good growth conditions, there would have been a lot of moisture in the soil, and it meant that the best conditions for the tree to grow more quickly. This has been around since 1927. It'll be around much, much longer to come, so it's certainly fine for touching. You can imagine they had to actually travel long, long distances before they got them to the ports where they were actually shipped out overseas, because of course much of our timber was shipped out, exported for houses that were being built in other places. So big cities like Sydney and San Francisco were built using the timber from the Kauri tree. I'm sure you had a look at the typical bushman or gum digger's hut a little bit earlier. Of course, there were not a lot of creature comforts. This is where you cooked and made your meal each night, and you can see there's a big vent up there where the smoke would actually escape from. So that's where the meal was cooked. They would make billy tea with little pots like this, so billy tea over the fire. And then of course the bed was probably a little bit hard. Wouldn't have been the most comfortable either. But these nikau huts, these are made out of fronds of the nikau tree, which is native to New Zealand, and they would have to replace these fronds out over time. But it can't have been particularly warm. So it was hard living, it wasn't an easy lifestyle, but this is the general situation where you had people out in the bush either cutting down the trees or being part of the forestry, or as in this case, it's an example of one of our gum diggers who's been digging up the gum. A lot of our old Kauri villas that make up the area, you can see there's Kauri from the floor, so the beautiful tongue and groove floors, to the walls, but also the ceilings. So just about everything in this room is made from the kauri tree, and you can see the beautiful golden colours that come through from the kauri tree. But then also you look at the furniture as well. And many pieces of these beautiful furniture, the cabinet makers used to love the kauri tree because it had such variety in the types of effects that it produced, and I'll show you more of that. So this was highly prized because it was so beautiful. But then if we turn around to this side, you see other effects coming through too. So that was flame over here, but this is described as mottled. And where you see more of these mottled effects is where the branch of the tree attaches to the strong trunk of the tree. So you start to get these different effects. You would also sometimes see that effect too around the roots of the tree. And there are various burrs, and I'll show you one. These attach to many of our trees, not just our kauri, but they produce those beautiful effects as well, which was so popular with our cabinet makers. Many of these individual cabinets were donated by local families who collected the gum over time. And we have the largest collection, of course, in the world of kauri gum. Kauri gum is very, very similar to amber. It's just not quite as old. So it's a little bit softer in terms of actual feel. So we have lots of examples in this room, including the beautiful highly polished pieces, right through to some of the more the rawer pieces. So as they would have been, as we actually extracted them from the side of the tree. So in this case, there's some kauri timber, or part of the tree, and you can actually see the gum, which has bled down over time. And that's what the tree does. That's how it protects or heals itself. If it gets injured, it basically excretes that beautiful resin, and that's what it helps to protect or heal. But as you can imagine, it hardens and then it drops to the ground. And those great big fields of kauri gum that the gum diggers came to New Zealand to actually collect, they were created by massive stands of kauri forest, which once covered most of Northland. We'll go and take a bit look. So this looks very barren, looks very much like a hostile environment. I often think it might be a little bit what it's like on the moon. But this is what happened, of course, when the great stands of kauri forests were cleared. They were cleared for timber, and what was left behind was this sort of landscape. What they soon discovered, of course, was under the ground you found a lot of kauri gum. The gum diggers, they would use tools like this, where they would almost do a big cross-section of a field and looking for gum. So they would mark out a square of where the gum might be, and then they would almost do this, and that would help dig it down into the ground, but also it would actually create a situation where if there was gum down there, it would actually rub against the side of it. So they would lift up the tool and smell the edge, and that's because kauri gum has a very fragrant smell, fragrant effect. If they could smell it, then they would use a tool like this to dig it out, of course. I'll get everyone to take a bit of a look at this. We talked about if you actually rub the side of the kauri gum and give it a bit of a rub, create a heated effect, it gives off quite a distinct smell. Almost like honeycomb or nougat. Would you like to smell it? Like that movie Jurassic Park, where of course they found those insects and fossilised in amber in that case. And just like that, insects over many, many years have been fossilised in gum. Some of these are less natural, they're man-made. So you can see the spider just there. That has been quite deliberately created by, you know, to make it I suppose, a collectible item, something that you would have in your cabinet and display to good effect. But you can do many things with gum. It's not that easy to carve, but you can do it. And in the age before we had any Wi-Fi or internet or even TVs, people would spend their evenings carving gum and creating all kinds of different effects. You can see here somebody's actually made a beaded necklace, which must have taken quite a bit of time to create. In other cases you have what looks more like a gum ball, which is perfectly rounded. And again, it must have been quite a major thing to have that effect. It makes beautiful jewellery, of course. So I'm wearing a piece which is one of my personal favourites, and it's a local New Zealand artist who makes these pieces, and we sell them in the shop. But this piece of beautiful gum, it's very clear, it's sitting on a background of mother of pearl, which is quite useful for us ladies. This has been carved from one very solid piece of gum. Snails, and you will find these on the forest floor. And what they do is they actually work alongside the kauri tree. They almost have a bit of a symbiotic relationship, and they change the composition of the soil that you see under, or the leaf litter that you see on the forest floor, and that helps the kauri tree in terms of how it grows. It looks very much like a piece of human here, but there's a very specific process that they use to actually create that type of effect. You can see, using a mixture of a gum digger's knife and these different grades of sandpaper, if you keep polishing it and whittling it over time, you end up with a finished polished article. So it takes 7 particular steps that we tend to suggest, using different grades of sandpaper that gets finer and finer over time, and then you get that finished article. You can see this collection of gum is quite different. It's much darker in colour. Yeah. It's what we call jet gum. And you get this effect when the gum itself has been heated. So if there was a forest fire or something above ground, then the heat that was created would actually result in this very dark varnished effect. And that happens sometimes. You would have, lightning would strike and would actually create a forest fire, and you would have this effect. Some of the pieces are quite clear in colour, others have more of a sort of mottled effect. I personally like the bits which are a little bit more interesting and have different vagaries, like this one here in the middle.
아담한 이 교회는 장미정원과 함께 관광객의 발길을 잡는 곳입니다. 이 교회와 앞마당은 50여 명의 손님들을 초대할 수 있는 행사장이나 결혼식장으로 쓰이기도 합니다. 카오리 나무 뿌리의 모습입니다. 오클랜드에서 남쪽으로 100km 떨어진 곳에서 가져온 나무의 뿌리입니다. 카오리 박물관을 뒤로 하고 숲속의 제왕 타네마오타를 보러 가는 길입니다.
자, 왼쪽을 보세요. 이게 바로 2000년 나무 타네마오타입니다. 이거 보려고 여기까지 오는 거예요.
날씨가 이렇다. 난 완전히 흑인이네. 그래.
실감 나요?
체형이 이렇게 덮어서 그래.
이 신비로운 타네마오타는 뉴질랜드에서 살아있는 카우리 나무로서는 가장 큰 나무입니다. 숨 막히도록 신비한 이 나무를 보는 순간 할 말을 잊습니다. 타네마우타의 모습을 보면 나의 존재가 너무나 작아지는 것을 느낄 수 있습니다. 1928년 니콜라스 야카스와 그의 동료들이 이 길을 닦으면서 타네마우타를 발견했습니다.
본격적인 좋게도 장갑도 끼셨어. 원래 서울 사람이 장갑 끼고 여기 브랜든이라는 곳에서 이제 이쪽으로 빠져나왔죠. 그래서 우리 카우리 박물관 여기 들렸거든요. 예, 들리고서 이제 쭉 이렇게 해서 다가빌까지 갔습니다. 다가빌이 이제 여기 가다 보면 이제 그 고구마 주산지거든요. 그 여기도 있고 그리고 여기 아까 호수가 있다 그랬지 않습니까? 여름엔 여기 사람들 많이 가요. 근데 이제 여러분들 로토로아라든가 타오폼 기타 뭐 남섬에 갔을 때 호수를 많이 봤기 때문에 또 의미도 없고 겨울에는 시간이 또 없습니다. 근데 여기 이게 외길이에요. 사실 길을 잊어버릴 수도 없어요. 계속 와가지고 이쪽으로 온 거죠. 와가지고 이제 이쪽으로 이제 넘어가야 되거든요. 예, 넘어가야 되는데 이쪽으로 넘어가는 게 아니라 이쪽으로 넘어가면 이게 이제 호키야마라는 하버인데 이쪽 동네 이게 이제 마오리들 표현이죠. 이게 그저 얼굴이 마오리죠. 이쪽으로 쭉 마오리들이 많이 살아요. 예, 마오리들이. 이게 이제 여기가 이제 고기가 많죠.
예, 낚시.
낚시하기 좋아. 레인이라는 페리가 있거든요. 그래서 여기서 차를 실어가지고 이쪽으로 건너가면 여기가 모티티예요. 여기에 이제 우리 그 폼폴리에너 신부님 성지가 여기 있습니다. 그래서 여기 가서 이제 보고.
그까지 가요?
아니 오늘은 거기 못 가요. 예, 이건 1박 2일 해야 되죠. 예. 그리고 이쪽에 복이 참 많아요.